Walk into any Walmart in America right now. Head straight past the perfume counter where they want you to drop $90 on a bottle that'll fade off your skin before lunch. Look down 2 aisles over. Sitting there, under $5 each, are 11 little products that fragrance insiders have been quietly using for decades. Sales associates who've worked the counter for 20 years use them. The people who actually formulate this stuff use them. They make a $10 body spray Outlast Tom Ford. I'm going to walk you through every single one of them. None of them cost more than a fast food meal. By the time we get to number 1, you're going to understand why the fragrance industry has spent the last 15 years quietly hoping you never figure this out. Every trick on this list cuts directly into the one thing they need from you: for your perfume to die fast enough that you keep buying more. Before we get into it, I want you to understand something about how this industry actually works. The International Fragrance Association, the IFRA, has been steadily restricting ingredients since the early 2000s. Oakmoss, the backbone of classic chypres like the original Mitsuko from 1919. The Chanel No. 19 your grandmother wore has been slashed down to almost nothing in modern formulations. Real birch tar, nitro musks, certain types of jasmine absolute, all gone or limited to trace amounts. That bottle of Coco Mademoiselle or Aventus you bought last year is not the same juice that was sold in 2010. The brands know it, the perfumers know it. The reason these 11 cheap little items work so well is that they compensate for exactly what got stripped out of your expensive bottle. Number 11. Unscented Vaseline, $0.97 in the beauty aisle. This one shows up in every fragrance subreddit, every Fragrantica longevity thread, every TikTok from someone who used to work at Sephora. The mechanism is simple and it's real. Fragrance molecules evaporate off dry skin in a matter of hours. The drier your skin, the faster they leave. Petroleum jelly creates an occlusive barrier that traps those molecules against your skin and slows the evaporation curve dramatically. You dab a thin layer on your pulse points, spray your fragrance directly over it. You've just bought yourself an extra 2 to 4 hours of wear time on a scent that would normally vanish by lunch. This is not a myth. Dermatologists confirm the occlusion effect. Perfumers have known about it forever. The reason your sales associate didn't tell you is that a jar of Vaseline lasts about 3 years and costs less than $1. Do the math on what that does to their commission. Number 10. Glass cotton swabs and a cheap dropper bottle, both under $3 combined. Here's the trick almost nobody outside the hobbyist community uses. Instead of spraying your expensive bottle into the air and losing 70% of the juice to the atmosphere, you unscrew the atomizer, draw a few drops out with the dropper, and apply directly to skin. A standard spray pump releases about 1/10 of a milliliter, and most of that aerosol cloud never touches you. Direct application means every drop lands where you want it. A bottle that used to last you 4 months now lasts you 10. Insiders have been doing this with vintage juice for decades because vintage formulations are irreplaceable and you don't waste a single molecule. Number 9. A travel atomizer. The little 5 milliliter glass ones Walmart sells in the travel section for around $4. Buy 2. Decant your expensive fragrance into one and leave the big bottle at home in a dark closet, ideally inside its box. Heat, light, and oxygen are what destroy perfume. Every time you leave that $90 bottle on your bathroom counter under the vanity lights, you're cooking it. Top notes go first. The citrus and the aldehydes flatten out. Within a year, that juice smells nothing like it did when you bought it. The travel atomizer takes the hit instead. You refill it once a month. The mother bottle stays pristine for years. Fragrance collectors who own bottles from the 80s and 90s that still smell incredible all do this. The brands don't mind you ruining your bottle in 18 months. That's a feature for them, not a bug. Right here, if you're already thinking about which one of your bottles you've been slowly destroying on your bathroom counter, do me a favor and hit subscribe. The next 6 tricks on this list are the ones the industry really doesn't want floating around. The one I'm saving for number 1 is the single cheapest thing on this entire list. It does more for longevity than any premium fragrance booster on the market. While you're at it, drop a comment and tell me which perfume dies fastest on you. The one that disappears in an hour no matter how much you spray. I read them all and I want to see if the same 3 or 4 bottles keep showing up. I have a theory about which reformulations are the worst offenders right now. Number 8. Plain unscented body lotion. $3 for a big bottle of the Equate brand at Walmart. This is the layering trick every fragrance forum has been pushing for 15 years. The science behind it is identical to the Vaseline trick, but with better wearability for full body application. Moisturized skin holds fragrance 2 to 3 times longer than dry skin. The lotion gives the fragrance molecules something to bind to instead of evaporating straight off into the air. Apply lotion head to toe after a shower, wait a minute, then spray. People consistently report on Reddit that a cheap body spray applied this way outlasts a designer EDP applied to dry skin. That's not marketing, that's just chemistry. Number 7. A small spray bottle of distilled water. About $1.50. Here's a trick from the old Base Notes vintage threads. Before you apply your fragrance, mist your pulse points with a tiny amount of distilled water. Damp skin grabs onto fragrance molecules in a way dry skin can't. This pairs with the lotion trick or stands alone if you don't like the feel of lotion. Sounds too simple to work. Try it once and you'll feel the difference by hour 6. Number 6. Unscented hair conditioner, the cheapest one Walmart stocks, usually under $3. Hair holds fragrance longer than skin. This is not opinion, this is structure. The keratin and the cuticle of your hair are essentially fibrous and porous, and they trap aromatic molecules for hours after they've evaporated off your skin. But spraying alcohol-based perfume directly on your hair dries it out and damages it over time. The workaround insiders use is to put a pump of unscented conditioner in your palm. Spray your fragrance into the conditioner, mix it, and run it through the ends of your hair. The conditioner protects the hair holds the scent, and you get a sillage trail that lasts into the next day. Women who get stopped in elevators and asked what they're wearing are almost always wearing fragrance in their hair. Number 5. A pack of plain cotton balls under $2. Spray your fragrance onto a cotton ball, tuck it into your bra, your sock, your pocket, the lining of your jacket. Fabric and cotton hold fragrance dramatically longer than skin because there's no body heat actively evaporating it and no skin chemistry breaking down the molecules. You'll get a soft halo of scent that releases slowly all day. People who work in offices where heavy perfume is frowned upon swear by this. It also rescues fragrances that wear too close to the skin, the ones reviewers always describe as having no projection. Suddenly they project, because the cotton is doing the work your skin couldn't. Number 4. Unscented deodorant. Around $3. Apply it not just to your underarms but to any pulse point where you plan to spray. The aluminum compounds and the waxy base create another occlusive layer, similar to Vaseline but drier and more wearable. This trick comes up over and over in the cologne communities because guys tend to want longevity without the greasy feel of petroleum jelly. It works. Pair it with the lotion trick on the rest of your body. You've essentially built a multi-layer scaffold that holds fragrance against your skin for the entire day. Now, I want to pause for a second and bust a myth because this one shows up in the comments every single time and it's wrong. The myth that rubbing your wrists together after applying perfume breaks the fragrance and ruins the top notes. This has been repeated for 50 years. Fragrance chemists have addressed it directly. The friction and heat from rubbing your wrists is not enough to chemically alter the molecules. What it does do is push the fragrance into the skin a little faster, which can make the opening feel shorter, but the molecules themselves are fine. Rub your wrists if you want. Don't if you don't want. Either way, your perfume is not broken. The reason this myth survives is because it sounds sophisticated and it makes people feel like there's a right. Wrong way to wear fragrance, which sells more education content and more product. The real enemies of your fragrance are heat, light, oxygen, and dry skin, not your own wrists. Number 3. Plastic cling wrap. $2 in the kitchen aisle. This one sounds insane until you understand what it does. After spraying a fragrance on your wrist or your neck, you can briefly cover the area with a small piece of cling wrap for 30 seconds to a minute while you finish getting ready. The plastic traps the alcohol vapor and the heat against the skin, forces the fragrance to bind deeper into the top layer of skin before the alcohol carrier evaporates. Niche fragrance fans on Reddit have been doing this with expensive oud-based scents for years. It's not pretty, you're not going to do it in public, but on the days you need the scent to last from morning until night, it genuinely extends wear time. A roll of cling wrap costs less than one spray of Baccarat Rouge. Number 2. A small amber glass bottle with a dropper, about $4 in the essential oils section. Buy a bottle of plain, unscented jojoba oil or fractionated coconut oil while you're there, also under $5. Mix a few drops of your favorite fragrance with the oil in the amber bottle. You've just made an oil-based version of your alcohol perfume. Oil-based fragrance lasts dramatically longer than alcohol-based because there's no carrier evaporating off and taking the top notes with it. The aromatic molecules sit in the oil and release slowly over 8 to 12 hours instead of 3 to 4. This is literally how atars and traditional Middle Eastern perfumery have worked for centuries. The big houses sell you alcohol because alcohol is cheap, It sprays well. It gives you that bright opening burst. Crucially, it disappears fast enough that you keep buying. An oil decant of the same juice will outlast the spray version by a factor of 3. Number 1. A box of unscented baby wipes, less than $3. Here's the trick. Spray a fragrance you love onto a baby wipe in the morning. Fold it into a small Ziploc bag. Carry it in your purse, your backpack, your glove compartment. At lunch, at the gym, before a meeting, before a date, you pull the wipe out and quickly refresh your pulse points. You don't have to carry the glass bottle, you don't have to worry about it leaking. You don't have to decant into a travel atomizer that might break in your bag. The wipe holds the fragrance perfectly because cotton fiber is the ideal medium for aromatic molecules. One full spray on a wipe gives you 3 or 4 touch-ups across the day. A $100 bottle lasts you twice as long. You smell freshly applied at 6 inches the evening instead of like the ghost of what you wore at 8 inches the morning. Sales associates know about this trick and almost none of them mention it. Their entire business model assumes you'll burn through a bottle in 6 months and walk back in to buy another one. Stretch a bottle to a year and a half, and the math of the entire perfume counter falls apart. Here's where I leave you. Every one of these 11 tricks costs less than $5 at any Walmart in the country. Every single one of them works against the one thing the fragrance industry quietly depends on. Your perfume disappearing fast enough that you forget what it smelled like and go buy another one. Use even 3 or 4 of these together and you're going to look at your collection completely differently. The bottle you thought had no longevity probably does. You were just applying it to dry skin with no scaffold under it and storing it next to a sunny window. Now I want you to do one thing for me. In the comments, tell me which fragrance you want me to investigate next. Drop the name of a bottle you suspect got reformulated. A classic from the 80s, 90s you loved that doesn't smell the same anymore. Or a designer scent that dies on you in under 2 hours. I'll pull the records, dig through the IFRA restrictions, compare the vintage and current formulations. The next video is going to be a full breakdown of exactly which famous bottles got gutted, which ones are still worth your money, and which cheap dupes at Walmart actually outperform the originals right now. Pick carefully. The one that gets the most comments is the one I open with.